Welcome back to Day 2 of the Oregon Trail Rally. Yesterday provided close competition and promises of an exciting day today. Today starts out with two forest stages on a mostly gravel surface at the base of Mount Hood, Ketchum and Fir Mountain. Each ran twice. The final leg of the rally consists of two runs through the Starve Out stage and a single run through the Boyd stage, out near the pastures and farmlands of Duffer. With such variation in the stages today, from the gravel, tight and twisty tree-lined morning stages, combined with the wide open packed dirt of the prairies, the competitors are in for a challenging 65 miles of competition. The first four stages proved challenging for all teams, as Matt Weaver and William Kostic found out in their Mazda RX-7. They managed to climb from 9th to 5th on the first stage of the day. Unfortunately, a broken axle would end their day shortly after. They will be able to fix the car and restart the rally tomorrow, but they are now out of the Max Attack running. Roger Matthews and Rebecca Greek were also making a climb up the leaderboard on the four stages. The Wild Hair Racing Rabbit would also suffer from a broken axle, however. The team was able to finish the stage, but were excluded in service when they failed to repair the car in the allotted time. They'll be back tomorrow, but are no longer in the Max Attack running. Looking impressive were Garth Ankeny and Russ Crusher in their historic class 1969 Saab 96. They're pushing the Old Girl Tour limits and are absolutely screaming through the forest, and have climbed to 4th overall. Ultimately, though, they too would fall due to mechanical failure in the final forest stage. By the end of the leg, the battle for 5th place is really heating up. Four teams are separated by just over 30 seconds, with the VW Golf of Andrew and Robin Lockhart locking in the 5th place position going into service. John Conley and Keith Rudolph are only 3.7 seconds back after 9 stages, and with the wide open farmland stages yet to come, the high horsepower of the Dodge Neon SRT4 will be an advantage, and the team are certain to be pushing hard. Sitting comfortably in 4th place with over a minute lead over the Lockharts is Gaylord Van Brocklin and Steve Secchiar in another VW Golf. This is the San Diego-based team's 4th rally, and they're already showing a lot of promising speed. Chris Duplessis and Ron Zaris are coming to terms with their 0-60 magazine-sponsored Scion XD. Chris is 5 minutes ahead of Van Brocklin, and at only a minute back from 2nd place are still within striking distance of the win. Dylan Van Way and Ben Slocum are capitalizing on their lead from day one, and are charging hard right from the start with the stage win, thus increasing their lead by 35 seconds on stage 5 alone. Let's watch the start of the fast and flowing Ketchum stage and see just how on the limit they are. They're moving incredibly fast, and I'm sure the added power from the new turbocharger is being put to good use. By the start of stage 8, Cody Crane and Billy Irvin have fallen to more than 1 minute behind Dylan Van Way and Ben Slocum in the Ford Focus. Both teams are on the ragged edge on these stages, and neither are showing any signs of letting up. Let's go on board with Cody and Billy as they beat on the CRX in a long and challenging Fir Mountain stage. Early splits indicate Cody is making up a massive amount of time on this stage. We can see just how hard he's pedaling the little Honda and really get a sense of the speed he's managing to maintain through these corners. Cody's well on track for the stage win, but will it be enough to overcome the top spot? Let's watch his stage time and target time as Cody and Billy approach the finish. Oh, Cody cuts the gap to first from 62 seconds to just over 18 seconds with that spectacular stage win. The crews now move east for a single run through the Starve Out stage before heading in for the final service of the day. Dylan Van Way is looking great coming through the stage, but will it be enough to hold the lead? Cody not only looks fast in this tricky downhill section, but was the fastest car out of the entire rally through this section, clocked at nearly 90 miles an hour coming into the first corner. Cody pulls off yet another stage win on the final stage going into service, and closes the gap to a mere 11.9 seconds to Dylan Van Way in first place. With 2 stages left in the day, either driver could easily end up the leader by nightfall. Chris Duplessis and Ron Zaris are holding comfortably in 3rd place in the Scion XD. Gaylord Van Brocklin has had a solid drive and is holding 4th easily. The battle for the final playing position of 5th place is really heating up, and just over 30 seconds separate the 4 drivers in contention. The remaining 2 stages of the day consist of another run through the Starve Out stage, followed by the similar but slightly faster Boyd stage. The Colorado-based team of Chris and Lori O'Driscoll and their Honda CRX were battling fiercely with Brian Gottlieb and Pat Darrow in the Toyota FX16. The O'Driscoll CRX won the first stage of the leg and headed into the final stage with an 8-second lead on the Toyota. Brian and Pat responded on the final stage and managed to gain 15 seconds, taking back the lead by just over 6 seconds. In the process, both teams managed to surpass the team of John Conley and Keith Rudolph, who suffered from a loss of power due to a leaking turbocharger boost hose. So far, it's been a weekend to forget for the Neon SRT4 team, with a broken half shaft slowing them on day one and loss of power further crippling them today. Still, they have fared better than others and have managed to finish each day and hold on to 6th place still by the end of the day. Gaylord Van Brocklin again drove a solid and steady drive and would have seemed to have had 4th place locked down. The Volkswagen Golf driver was having a solid run and was sitting securely in 4th place at the end of the day before being handed a 1.5-minute penalty for exceeding the speed limit on the transit back to service, dropping them back to 7th place. Nearly half of the team suffered similar penalties. None felt it as bad perhaps as Andrew and Robin Lockhart, who received a 5.5-minute penalty, dropping them from 5th place to 9th place. With only 5 stages remaining, the team will be hard-pressed to make up that time and climb back into a paying position. Cody Crane and Billy Urban continued their mad charge in this leg with a stage win on stage 10. The crew has been at maximum attack all afternoon. It pays off as they surpass Dylan Van Way and move into the top spot. Dylan Van Way and Ben Slocum respond on the final stage with a stage win and cut the gap to Cody and Billy to only 1.2 seconds. Despite the small gap, Dylan Van Way shows just how much of a sportsman he is and tows Cody and the CRX back to the final service after the CRX suffered a broken transmission on the transit. Without the tow, Cody would have likely retired or suffered penalties from a late arrival. So you're getting towed in by your competitor Dylan Van Way. What happened?
Yeah, we gotta thank him a lot. Our shift linkage broke right after the finish of the last stage, so we were stuck.
Just trying to keep the Max Tech spirit and helping our competitors. We haven't compared times yet, so it's okay. But after, we may regret this. No, I'm just kidding. But we're just really dusty and dirty, and time for a nap.
Unfortunately, the top two weren't immune to penalties either, and Dylan Van Way was handed a 30-second penalty, moving the gap to 31.2 seconds with only 4 stages to go. However, with Cody's CRX needing serious transmission repairs, it'll take some work and a bit of luck for him to get the car fixed overnight to defend the lead tomorrow. Chris Duplessis also suffered a 1.5-minute penalty, leaving him quite comfortably in 3rd place at the end of the day. With lots of time between him and any competitor, it's likely he'll just cruise to the finish tomorrow to ensure an excellent result with the Scion XD in its first competitive outing. Brian Gottlieb and Chris O'Driscoll were the main beneficiaries of the penalties suffered by nearly half the field as they move up into the final paying positions. John Conley and Gaylord Van Brocklin are right there though, and tomorrow is certain to be exciting, with only 5 stages remaining to determine who will take home the big checks in this exciting opening round of the 2010 Max Attack 2-Wheel Drive Championship. This coverage is made possible with the support of Donza del Sol Winery. Located in Temecula, California, the winery offers a distinct tasting room for sampling their excellent selection. Their wine club allows wine lovers throughout the nation the opportunity to expand their horizons with regular shipments of the boutique winery's offerings.